For years and years and years, we were all going fishing, looking at SST shots. Now I know most of you guys are blue water guys. How many people in this room have fished the most beautiful break you've ever seen? It was a 2-degree break with a rip running through it, and there's weeds all over it, and you fish it and fish it and fish it, and there ain't nothing there. Raise your hand. That's right. That's right. If you've done it, you know. We thought SSTs were what was holding, those SST breaks was what was actually holding the fish. SST breaks, see, surface temperature breaks, are not what holds the fish. Convergence zones are what holds the fish. And SST breaks are a symptom of the convergence zone, but they are not the convergence zone itself. And you're going, oh, Dave, what's a convergence zone? So let me explain it to you. Get over here to the side so y'all can see a little bit better. So on one side of this, you've got high productivity water. And by high productivity, I'm talking about there's an upwelling that's dragging nutrients off the bottom up to the surface of the water. Well, I'm thinking. Okay, so we've got an upwelling, and we're dragging the nutrients up from the bottom, and as it comes up, we get the plankton and the zooplankton and the phytoplankton and all of that stuff, and all the water that's there now gets pushed down. That's what this big circle is. Generally, this is going to be greener water, and it's going to have lower salinity. Okay. On the other side of the equation, we have low productivity water. Low productivity water means there's not a lot of nutrients in the water. There's not a lot of stuff in the water. There's not a lot of food there. There's not a lot of action going on in that water. So this is the low productivity side over here. This is the high productivity side over here. How many of y'all have been Spanish fishing? I know everybody has, right? Been Spanish fishing on a falling tide? And on that falling tide, you get all that dirty water rushing out the inlet, and it's all mucky looking, and then you got that break right there where it's perfectly clean, and the fish are congregated right along that line, right? Well, that's exactly what happens here with this convergence zone. And as I go through all of these slides where we're talking about these different layers, I want you to think back to Spanish fishing. I want you to think back to the basics here of Spanish fishing on that falling tide with that dirty water coming out, meeting that clean water, because that's really what we're seeing here. All right? We've got water with nutrients on one side, we've got water without nutrients on the other. Where those two collide is this convergence zone. The convergence zone is what holds fish. They're not out swimming around here out in the middle somewhere. What happens is they come along, and when they hit this low productivity zone, they leave it and come back to the high. And they will tend to congregate right along the edge between high and low. Does that make sense? Hard to find a good hill.
Next.
Where's the convergence zone? The convergence zone is, if you think about this panel right here, and instead of thinking of this as the shoreline, think about this as the break. So we got all this water down here up below, it's hitting the break and it's coming up to the surface. This is one of the causes of upwellings. There's a whole lot of different causes of upwellings, but current coming in from south. Any of y'all fish blackjack? One of the reasons blackjack produces so good is because that Gulf Stream current's coming up from the south, and it's hitting a wall right there, and when it hits that wall, it pushes up and it causes an upwelling right there. And that's why blackjack's productive. The same thing holds true for the steeples. The same thing holds true for Samo. Same thing holds true for Big Rock. That Gulf Stream current's moving north, it's hitting something on the bottom, and it's creating an upwelling there, and there's almost always an upwelling there. Does that make sense? So you're getting this upwelling, and that upwelling's dragging all the nutrients and stuff off the bottom with it, and that's your high productivity area. And then if you can find the area between the high productivity and the low productivity, that wall between the two is where that convergence zone is going to be. See, this is warmer, cleaner water right here, and this is a low productivity area. Here where the upwelling was, where it drug all those nutrients, this is going to be greener water, okay? The line between the green and the clear is where the convergence zone is going to be, okay? That's the key to this whole thing, is finding that convergence zone.